So I'm terrible about summarizing other people's books and other people's biographies, especially with a biography like yours, which I would just mangle. You're the author of, I'd read at one point 70 books and at one point 80 books. How many books have you written?
More than 80. So, and the new book, Gold Rush Girl, I think is number 83, and that'll be published in March, and that will be followed by a new Poppy book in that Poppy series that comes out in May. So we're busy.
And you have won not just a Newbery, but you've been honored a total of 3 times now, or is it more than that?
I've got a couple of Newbery Honors. I've got the Newbery. I've got a couple of Hornbook Awards and other stuff that people throw in my direction, and I'm always happy to receive. It's always good. It's awards are gifts that you didn't know that were coming, so they're fun to get. So, the door, somebody raps on the door and says, "Here, congratulations." I could live with that. So.
You are open to further awards should anyone wish to bestow them.
I mean, I'm not going to, I won't say no, okay?
And that just brings me right away to a question I'm dying to ask you. When you get to a point where you've written 83 books and you've won a good number of awards, hoping to maybe get some more in there, but you've had a heck of a career. Nobody can say that Avi wasn't objectively a writer, a great writer that had a heck of a career. What keeps you writing at this point, and what joy do you still bring from it after having so much joy?
Well, I've been writing for, I hate to tell you, 60 years. It's what I do. It's part of my breathing. I get up and I work and I write. It seems to me inconceivable that I don't write. Sometimes I want to slow down, but that hasn't quite happened yet. But I don't mean to be mundane about it, but it's my work. I get up every day and I sit down in front of the computer. Where am I? What do I have to accomplish today? And I try to do it. And not beside the point, it's the way I make a living. It's the way I support myself and support my family. And one does have to pay the mortgage, right? And that's the way it works. And so I'm a professional writer. And like the construction worker or the teacher or whatever, I go to work every day. So I try not to romanticize it. The fact that I enjoy it most days, not every day, is what I do. That's how it works. So what the motivation is, I'm not so sure I require motivation. I have, for example, promised to write 3 more books. That is to say, there are 3 more contracts, if you will. And so there are deadlines. And once you agree to do it, and they even pay you something, and then I spend it, I better do the book, right? That's the way it works.
Not very. Well, that makes a lot of sense, and yet there's this part of this nagging in my brain that, so I read a lot of books by a lot of authors, and I've read books by authors who've already written quite a few books, and there's I never want to disparage any author, but there can be a quality to it that this is just the job that I got up to do. And in reading Gold Rush Girl, available in March, this is not a product like if you were working construction where you've just built a house. There's passion in this. There's an author who still wants to say something, so there has to be more than just it's doing the job.
Well, I love telling stories, and I love telling stories by writing them. I don't sing them. I don't perform them on a stage, all of which is a good way to tell a story, but it's not my way. And what happens, I think, for me, when I get caught up in a story, I get caught up as well with the characters. And then I'm telling myself the story, and I want to know what happens, so to speak. And I enjoy it. And I get involved in the characters. In a book like Gold Rush girl. My protagonist, the girl Tori, I care about her, and I want to know what happens and how she feels and how she reacts to this particular rather odd situation when she goes to this bizarre place called California, and what happens to her. And I want to know, and I get involved. I can't explain it all in the sense of I'm very much an intuitive writer, and I just get caught up in my characters, just as the way I hope you do. And I do believe that if the writer is not fully engaged with the characters, the reader won't be. And so it's my job to care about my people, so to speak. And I'll give you an example of that. Years ago, when I was writing True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle, the book had essentially been done. But my editor, Dick Jackson, suddenly called me up and said, we skipped a scene. We need to go back and look at this. When Charlotte leaves the boat, the way it's written now, she just leaves. She surely needs to say goodbye to the characters, right? And I agreed, absolutely, she needed to do that. And it's maybe, so I went back and got to that point in the book and started to write when she goes around and says goodbye to her characters. And as she's saying goodbye, Lord help me, the tears are coming to my eyes because I'm saying goodbye to Charlotte too. And once you write the book, you can think about your characters, but you're not supposed to. I mean, that lunacy lies that way. You create a character, they stay on the page. They're not supposed to be in your house after you write the end. But there I was, feeling real emotion about saying goodbye to Charlotte. And if I don't feel that emotion when I finish a book, literally write the last sentence, then I don't think I've done the job. So there's an emotional attachment that gets a part of the writing process. Absolutely.
And so are you an author that when you're, I make fun of myself all the time because I think it's me. Well, I don't know what the word is for it, and let's put my stuff aside. When you sit down, aren't you laughing with the characters as well as crying? And does that happen to you frequently with every book?
I think so. I don't pay attention to it myself in that sense, but I sometimes catch myself making gestures that my characters are making, that I'm sensing the emotion, I'm sensing the moment. I think so. If you're not thoroughly engaged, you're not writing as well as you might. I want to know. Now, I'm working on a book now, and I've been working on it about 4 or 5 months, but only now am I really beginning to become engaged with my central character. It takes a while. Here I've just met you. I don't know you. I don't have any particular emotions about you, but let's meet for coffee, let's do something together, let's go to a movie, etc. And then I'm going to start caring about you in one sense or another. And that's the same for my characters. It takes a while for me to get to know them and care for them.